G'day and welcome back to Ranless Sea, Zubmariner. We've got our submarine. We submerged last time. We were almost killed in the submerge process. We were almost killed as we rose back up. We're back in London, basically to try and fix ourselves up. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go talk to the Admiral. We're going to sell our port reports, what limited ones we did get, which is, you know, mostly very minor ones, but it's fine. Iron Republic, again, we've got the blank one because we didn't stay there long enough. We actually got more than I realized in that short period. We're actually nearly full up. What we do want to do is we want to go to the docks. And if we do that, got a new recruit, really. Presbyterian Adventurous. Yeah, we'll have an opportunity to find her later on. What we'll do is we will go to the docks, which must be where? London, put your ship in dry dock. And then here we can completely repair our hull with this. For 25 echoes, it'll burn a few admirals' favor. Whatever. We've got plenty. 24 echoes, in fact. Hull's completely shipshape again. Fantastic. Now, what else did we want to do here? Is there anything? We actually used up our something awaits you at port just before we came here, which is why there's not actually very much happening. We can still do this, but I don't need the Terror, and I still want moves in the Great Game so I can get pages. Because I would much prefer to raise pages. It's the hardest stat to raise, so yeah. What I do kind of want to do is I want to go over to near the bazaar, and I want to submerge and see what we get. Oh yeah, look at that sweet submerge animation. What do we see near London? Do we see anything interesting? Probably not. But I want to know. Nah, you still can't even get past the first bridge. Ah, well. Is there any more? I don't... Like, we've done that. Hit zero, you'll die. Nah, let's get rid of this. Our knowledge about submarines is there. Ooh, what's this thing? Okay, restless nights. In the watches of the night, you pad softly past the hatch to the crew quarters. A man cries out softly in his sleep, desperately. Another. Inquire about their dreams the next morning. Eyes in a face. The whole neath lit up like a snuffer mask. There's something in the roof, Captain. It is the roof. It's watching us. Eyes in a face. Eyes in a face. Yes, you say softly. You lay your hand on the sailor's burning forehead. There are storms in the roof. Hush, we won't join them yet. Okay. Chasm yawns beneath us. So this allows us to go into the abyss. Right. And this? Ooh. This is a shipwreck. Look at it. A silent wreck. The encrusted protrusions of coral fix the wreck's anchor to the seabed. The bow is shattered on the rocks. The anchor chain groans in the current. Enter the wreck. Judging by the progress of decay in the outmoded plating, this ship has lain here since soon after London's fall. This may not be wise. Really? We've lost crew. I should do something about that. Your airline is extended to enable a thorough exploration. As you pick your way across the seabed to the wreck, you notice a weak light shining from within the ruptured bow. It illuminates a shoal of fish skirting around and away from the wreck. The cargo hold is yawning wide, offering easy entrance. Your bosun is to remain outside while the rest of you go in. She'll sound the time in sevens. Be out in 14 minutes, she warns. After 7, the fear sets in. Twice that, the hallucinations. Thrice that, you'll go dark. No coming back. Okay. Enter the boiling room. Enter the ship's hold. Let's enter the cargo hold. Because it's a low-risk challenge, so we'll do that. Seaweed coats all casks of wine like lobelia on a grave. The supply crates have been broken open and left. Your navigator passes by ahead. A steel ladder shines in the lamplight. Was it always there, a half inch from the lamp wall? Do you care? The cargo hold is just below. Let's go further. Something large must have passed by. Go deeper. You make for the port stairwell. The compartment, the bulkheads, the portholes are revealed in pale milk white. A ship passing in the waters above. The light goes on as suddenly as it came. You plunge into abyssal darkness. No, I'm gonna cargo hold. Go further. Cargo hold. Go further. Ultimately, this seems kind of silly, because I'm reliably passing one and failing the next, and the net loss is none. So, I'm gonna keep going. You pass on through the murk. An old lantern crashes down on an iron stairwell. Your foot must have caught it as you turned a corner. You follow it down and find yourself on an unfamiliar deck. Okay. A ladder, sir, leads upward, deeper into the hull. Meals were served here. The ladder shakes as you ascend. Your engineer is waiting. They cannot speak, but gesture ahead. They swim away into the dark. The kitchen is barren, its cupboards open to the water. Scraps of paper near the table. Most are indecipherable. One written on the inside of a leather cover reads, "We did not turn back." 64%, 64%. Let's enter a stateroom. The ship sometimes carried passengers on its journeys. Failed. Oof. Let's see. So this is succeeding across the observation deck. It's almost broken into half tilted almost vertically. Support beams and long cables chain the wreck's halves together. You slowly swing a beam across the gap. It's lasted this long, it should take you crawling across it. Below, the ship lies open like a discarded muscle. Jagged metal and rock wait before you. Your cabin boy swims before you. He does not look back. Let's have a look in the bridge. You have to swim upward. It hangs precarious before you. The bosun's bell rings out. You have to swim upwards. It hangs precariously before you. All around you, floating pages from a journal. The handwriting's familiar. You push onwards. Illegible handwriting against your helmet glass. Your engineer swims down past you, sinking down into the wreck. Let's go further. We succeeded. Enter the captain's cabin. The door yawns. Do not do this. You enter across the room, look down at the occupant. This is you chained to the bed. This is your face, bloated and blotched. These are your fingers, folded and nibbled by fish. A crewman is pounding on your arm. Your living arm, not the dead one. Swollen and pale, your count is up. He drags you away back to the ship. The living ship, not the dead one, broken on the Z-bed. A woman sings clearly in the depths. The airlock, your corridor, your cabin. You sleep. Once you awake, dreaming you are held down with chains. But it is only your blankets. Heavy with sweat. Okay, so that lost me 3 hearts. That cost me 3 hearts. But it got me a searing enigma, which I can use elsewhere. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ascend and duck back to London. For a very simple reason. Oh, also a constant companion just appeared. Didn't want to deal with that either. So, we gained a bunch of terror there. You know what? It's a great way of getting rid of terror. Going back to London. So let's do that. Let's head to London. That music's great. Fantastic. Lovely. Love it. Definitely. No, not at all bad. Yeah, definitely. Great. The Revenue Men. Let's just hide something. We don't have anything. Interesting that this has not actually hit us yet. Collect messages from the Harbour Master. Something's changed underneath. Someone wants to sign on. That's all for now. You have a free evening. Okay, good evening, milady. What a marvellous evening it is, if you don't mind my saying so. And given it's my impression you're an obliging sort, I imagine you will not mind at all. And since you're so very obliging, perhaps you wouldn't mind making a little detour via Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo, if you happen to be in the area. The cheery man will, of course, cover your expenses for this trifling inconvenience. So, yeah, no, we will totally do that. I see you're hesitant. Perhaps you find Mount Palmerston unbearable. And who could blame you? Well, if you have the vinegar, there's another matter with which you might be able to assist, so I kind of like that they have that. But we will totally do this. Mount Palmerston is our jam. I want to find it because it's a nice source of cheap fuel. And now we've got an unsapped crate of brilliant souls. So yeah, we'll need to keep that in mind. Rose Market, nothing there really. Keepart was just losing the terror. Actually, you know what? Let's do this then. New evening. What's for sale now? Oh, what will people buy now? Nothing useful. Fine. Fine. My lodgings. We don't have any wounds. We don't want to sell our mansion. We don't want to sell our heirlooms. We might as well read the papers. We got supplies and everything from that. And we'll buy some more supplies. And there we go. Alrighty. Off we go again. And we'll go to Low Barnet. And we'll actually descend at Low Barnet. I mean, the Z-bed's pretty cool and all. But I'm definitely getting the impression that maybe a ship upgrade is in order before we go there. Just maybe. I almost expected, for some reason, the Z-bed to be a little bit like, what do I want to describe this as? A little bit like the Neath. Ooh, look at that. That looks like a dock to me. Low Barnet, a sunken church with docking ports. A sunken church with docking ports? The sediment has built up against the lower walls. Long ago, neglected crypts and crooked tombstones. The interior is sealed, yet the deep peals of the tower's belt can be felt even through a submarine hull. Let's deliver the parson. Low Barnet, the gate to the deeps. You'll hear tales from distant trenches of the Untersea. Some of them might even be true, but the strangest ones are jealously guarded. Light from the dock glints in his eyes. Hidden mysteries and pliant listeners. He glances at you, then gathers his luggage. Won't you join me below for a while? An explorer could learn much of value here. Yeah, sure, we can totally do that. Let us witness... Yes. Well, first, let us explore the church. We can get a port report, which, you know, there's no pulpit. The organ's bent, broken pipes, but Low Barnet is still a house of worship, of a sort. Groups of sailors gather in the aisles. The choir benches are clean and a makeshift stage. Lantern-eyed fish pass behind colourful windows of stained glass. The door to the bell tower is guarded by two burly vergers. Tridents are a nice touch. Okay, so let's first start with witnessing a contest of stories. The congregation is gathered before the altar. A sermon? But there appear to be two preachers. A competition is in progress. A voluble visitor tells of the sideways regiments, a plunderous legion of trained crabs. First they present a mighty collective shell. Then comes the onslaught of 1,000 nippers. Why, I only escaped thanks to a timely cloud of ink from my squid, which I befriended for precisely such an occasion. The unlikely story wins the acclaim of the congregation. While her rival slumps disappointed, the visitor waves her top hat and proceeds to the bell tower. Its doors close behind her. What kind of contest is won by nonsensical lies about crabs? You approach the apprehensive seaman who is staring into the distance, perhaps imagining ranks of crustaceans. You ask what happened here. Competition? Best story wins, Captain. says it all in the livery, but you need fine yarn to spin too. When you inquire about the winner's reward, his gaze turns wistful. If they're lucky, they get taken up. Wish I had a story to tell. Follow her into the bell tower. What's in there? Wild riches? Or just a good buffet? Not on the list. 2 surly vergers block your approach to the door. One points back at the congregation. Only winners allowed, he grunts. Next one soon. Okay. So, we have now observed it, so that gives us that quality. A few souls linger, gazing at the closed doors of the bell tower. You've just turned away when you hear the sonorous bong of the bell within. Its peals repeat every few seconds before becoming abruptly muffled, then finally silent. An excited murmur runs through the congregation. Although you keep an eye on the bell tower door, the winner does not emerge. Alright, let's trade stories with the congregation. Your appearance and bearing attract attention. They're eager for new tales. Okay, so we can't do Anth because we don't have stories of Anth. We can't do Hideaway because we don't have stories of Hideaway, Nook, or Rosegate. So this is basically a series of... this is another quest, basically. We want to go to these places, none of which are ports I recognize, which says they're all new Undersea ports. Or Untersea ports, rather. So that's what we're going to try and do at some point during this. We're going to try and visit those ports. Enough for now. Stories we'll keep for another time. We can't really wait and watch because we don't have any. We can't participate because we don't have any either. So yeah, that's cool. Can't trade stories, can't drop off a Blemmigan. So that's about it. We can buy and sell supplies, and fittingly they require tails, which is kind of nice. Like, admittedly, you don't get any if you sell them, but you can buy them by swapping tails, which is cool. I like it. Okay, so let's head north. We'll go along under the sea for the moment. Okay, map. I want to head kind of up this way, ultimately. Let's see if this does anything, right? I mean, I expected this would push us faster along, but apparently not. Okay, that's something over here. I will see it. Okay, fed the crew. Okay. What are you? What are those? Potapony. Recurring wretched nightmare. Flee the nightmare. We're getting there. Lost another strength. Lost a restful night. Oof. Okay. Yeah, we're getting ya. We're getting ya. We're gonna win. Okay. The Carnate Zubmariner is taking on water. Through one of its portals, lamplight waves frantically. So, quickly, the damage done to its shell is immense. Already the hull's collapsing. Your crew moves swiftly. They bring back aboard supplies and fuel. One staggers aboard with a bundle from the captain's desk. There are scorched and sodden pages, journals of Zonar readings, all completed with minute handwriting. There's even wrecked measuring equipment. None of it any use. But what's this? Spider silk. That is worth tossing a crate of supplies for. Okay. That was pretty fun. What are you? Are you anything? I don't know what that was, or what that does, or anything. Looks like we're running low on oxygen. Where are we? We're here. Let's head north a little ways, see what's here, and then go up. Your observation dome is silent. Navigator's breath. Yep. Loud in its stillness. Yep. Up we go. Yeah, we still lose oxygen. I wonder if there's an upgrade that will increase oxygen, your oxygen bar. Tanachuk. Okay. So we're gonna refill with oxygen and then we'll probably take another dip. But right now, I'm gonna head north. Demu's Gate. Alright, no, that's over there. Nah. It would be good to go there, basically, but honestly, right now, it'd be better to do the bit that we said we'd do. Okay, we've refilled. There's the rift. Chongyi Rift. On the horizon, you see the very light of the Ragged Crow. I wonder if that's the thing that we're meant to go to then. I think Mount Palmerston will be to the east. Fallen Stone. Do nothing, make a sacrifice to avoid his anger. Let's do that. We'll sacrifice the supplies. You know something of the three gods of the Z. Los Montero, your sailors know the words. You mumble them. A gift of wine and fish is suitable, marked with the captain's blood. Ow! Bound with copper wire and cast overboard from the bow, the package bobs for a moment, then sucked beneath the ship. And we've gained Storm's attention. Better that than having his wrath. In fact, one of the interesting things about one of the wraths that you can encounter is it eliminates your scion, which basically says your next captain won't get very far. Ooh, that's a life bug. I don't actually want to deal with the life bug. They are nasty. I mean, I've got a high enough Veils that I could probably get away with fighting it, but if I screw up, I die. And I don't like that. I don't think it's worth the risk. Maybe we'll go up to Codex and Wither. In fact, let's go for a dip. That's really what this is about, right? I mean, the new stuff is here. It's under the water. It's really where it interacts with above the water that's interesting. What's over here? That is a place to dock. Oh, right. I think I know where we are. Okay, that's that. What about you? What are you? Neither. Ooh, I don't like the sound of you. Let's see what this new nasty is about. It does not know where we are just yet, which is good. Let's try and keep it that way. Tide of Teeth. Your bow lights illuminates an uncountable school of eyeless, pale fish. This fish has eyes. Zayla pauses, fascinated by their pearly scales. The fish form silent ranks, rows after rows of them. We could fight through, or we could just sneak. I mean, yeah. The rows close around you like daggers of bone, pearly fish battering themselves to death against your hull. You steer wildly for a sheltering reef, where your pursuers gouge the coral in their attempts to reach you. A thin filament stretches from the skull of each fish, threading away into the dark towards a single point. Eventually the schooler turns its attention elsewhere. It disappears by darkness. They leave behind a single wriggling member, burrowed headfirst in the outcrop of coral, a severed gossamer thread dangling behind it. Ooh, creepy. But interesting. Also, what's with this fish? This neither is interesting. And it would be great if you would just die before my oxygen runs out. It will stop wriggling soon. Any moment now. Send the crew into the carrion slick. Continue shining a light on it. Its body's liquefying and spreading. Soon it will be nothing but a swirl of shadowed water. If you want to search the remains, you must act now. Never trust anything that seems in a hurry to die. As you turn the lamps upon the spreading, undulating blackness of its carcass, you hear the telltale sizzling of the sound through the hull. Something twinkles in the dark window of the Neither as it sleeches away into the dark. The canopy of a spread of night sky interrupted by a canopy of leaves. Sorry, the star spread of a night sky interrupted by a canopy of leaves. A far-off jungle, dark fruits, many-fingered figures sway in the trees. You tear yourself from the porthole. When you look again, it's all gone. Only the clear water remains, as though the Neither had never been. Okay, so here is the Wither. Wither, rather, not the Wither. Jeez. Getting Torment and this mixed up now. Okay, House of the Question, Wither, and Restless Nights. Ignore them. Captain allows... Yeah, that lets us lose some of the terror. House of the Question. Asked about the Drowned Man. Defy the gods. This is not a great plan. I'm not going to do it. On the other hand, resetting your terror is nice. Perhaps not. Wither. Explore the town, gather intelligence. Sure, leave in the Wither. The folk of the Wither are quiet and sly and mystical. They subsist on capefish and the dust-burrowing beasts of the waste. Their beer, however, is adequate. 50 dropout terror. Actually, I think we gained terror a bit in there, so let's try that. Lost 5 terror for 50. It's not ideal. Let's explore the town. Wither is a quiet, chilly town of grey stone and closed courtyards. The people are neither exactly unfriendly or exactly hospitable. They have an irritating habit of asking a question with a question. Here and there are odd sights tucked away. Okay. So, there is an intriguing smell. Who'll try, who'll buy. A street vendor turns skewers on a grill. The mixed scents are nothing like anything sold in London. You can try the grilled troglodyte. We can ask if they have anything more robust, which is cannibalism. Or we can try something mysterious, or this. I'm going to do the mysterious tyrant's meat. What is it? The vendor's vague. It looks something like a chard stick dripping with bluish fluid. You hold your nose and fail. Oh well. You follow the vendor's advice, holding your nose as you swallow, but the smell is something like rotting fruit. It still makes you gag. The stick is leathery. The blue stuff is rubbery as drying mucus. You fail to keep it down and disgrace your captaincy right there on the street. Delightful. Ask about the Drowned Man. No, I already did that. We can buy fuel for Z stories. We can buy supplies for Tales of Terror. We can buy Stygian ivory for the same thing. But we don't want to do any of that, so we're not going to. Right, yes. So, these are the things that we can do in our cabin as well. Alright, we're going to head east towards Codex. We're going to stop in at Codex, and we're going to keep going east until we find Mount Palmerston. Yep. So we kind of bypassed Codex. I didn't actually intend to do that, but still. We got to fight the Neither, which was interesting. Definitely. Definitely was an interesting thing to do. At some stage I should explore the Abyss, but I think when I've upgraded the ship. Isle of Codex, Desperate Mute Cave, Ooh, okay. So we could acquire a doomed monster hunter, but they are useless. They are the ammunition for the strangest weapon in the game, which I don't have and I'm not going to get. So we're not going to do that. The exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some are even willing to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar, the meanings unclear. Even when you can understand, these answers without questions, as useless as a key without a lock. And we'll also do this. Agree to a damp request. Seeing your ship, a drowning approaches with purpose. After a soggy exchange, he seems to seek passage to the undersea spire of Scrimshander. A few return from Scrimshander, not because of the danger, but because of the cost of leaving. Still, your guest promises compensation to cover the trip, and your safe departure afterwards. How generous. Monastic drowning silently boards your ship due for Scrimshander. Okay, so we'll leave it here. Next time, we're going to go east, looking for Mount Palmerston, and taking the occasional dive to explore the seabed as well. Until then, have a fantastic day. Bye.